So, Brandon Moreno is not out of the game just yet. In fact, he beat Amir Albazi pillar to post. He was very patient in that fight. He was having fun, but his striking was so on point with Amir that, he probably just was satisfied in that Brandon Royval fight, like I thought he was, and now he had that wake-up call, and he's got to come back and make a statement. So, Brandon Moreno, what's next for him? He made the statement that, he's got merit at 125. Now, who else is going to face him? That's going to be a tough challenge because he's going to be a hard gatekeeper. Is he going to face Pantoja for a fourth fight? I don't think so. I think that's already been proven that Pantoja is the superior fighter. Unless Brendan really wants to come back and, try this one. If they make it, they make it. But will Moreno be going to 135 anytime soon to just try to face like Henry Cejudo or someone like that? I think that's probably the best time for his career, and then he could probably move back down to 125 later if he wants. But I really do think that a Henry Cejudo fight for him would be a great moneymaker. Him versus Henry is now, the fight to make, because there's a storyline there. Brandon Moreno, you threw Figgy at me. I defeated Figgy after a long fought saga. You threw Pantoja at me, who's beat me a few times, and I came up short again. But then you threw Amir Albazi at me, and then I dispatched Amir. There is a story there now for Henry. Throw yourself in there with me. And I think that Henry could beat Brandon Moreno, potentially. But Brandon Moreno can potentially beat Henry Cejudo. And the more I've heard them go on the public record and talk about their story arc, it kind of feels like a misunderstanding led to a bunch of personal stuff that's not really that personal. But, they still play it up because, hey, there's some story. We have history. We used to train together. Another coach took me on, so I went with that coach. And, we went the way we went, So I think, sometimes it is, they don't have anything nasty to say to a lot of each other all the time, right? Sorry for my poor wording, but they don't have anything nasty to say to each other. Like, you could tell that they really do respect each other. But there is that chapter that needs to be closed for Henry Cejudo and Brandon Moreno, because they've been playing this radar game for how long, and now it's time that they just get in and get that final confrontation in. And I think that 135 would be better because, would Moreno do okay going for another title, and would he be glued to that, championship flyweight strap? Sometimes the belt's not everything. Who knows? Maybe he pulled an upset against Pantoja in the potential fourth fight. He gets the belt back, makes another statement, or he goes towards Royval for a third fight and says, I messed up in that one. I want to get that one back and win that trilogy. But potentially, I think that maybe it's time to not put so much pressure on rankings and just realize that Brandon Moreno has become a fan favorite, and he should capitalize on that with some marketable fights. He's actually single-handedly put a lot of eyes on flyweight, and flyweight has actually grown quite a bit, despite, it had some marketability issues, but I'm seeing more consistent fighters at flyweight where this is the best it's ever looked. So maybe it's not too dependent on Brandon Moreno to stick around, where he can move on and do what's best for him and close out his career in a way that's really good. Because I know that we saw that his miles are not completely done in the fight game. He's not totally run down. He's not washed. He's not over the hill. He just probably had an off night with Brandon Royval, and now he showed that, I still got some tread left. But how's he going to use the rest of the tread? Because now he's in his early 30s. It's not going to be too long till he's in his mid. And then that's when we're going to start to see the wheels really come off. But I think he should spend that time before the wheels come off to do marketable storyline fights. And honestly, man, what better one than Henry Cejudo? That is honestly, the best one that I think could happen at 135 potentially, and those guys are going to put on a show. I think it's going to be a very close war. Both those guys are studs. And yeah, no, I think they honestly do have, at the end of the day, a lot of genuine respect for one another. But, there comes a time where it's like, hey, you threw that guy at me, that guy at me, and that guy at me. Time to throw up yourself at me. So now that I think that's where they're at, and that would be probably the best fight right now. But that's all I got to say. I've said everything probably twice. But yeah, no, early morning reporting, But I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.